AD, if you're an AD, why couldn't he win with the Pelicans? Was LeBron James on the team? Because that's what it takes for a big to win in the NBA. A LeBron James, a Kobe Bryant, a Dwayne Wade, a Magic Johnson. AD has LeBron James. They're going to win championships. I like that point. You know, AD, top 5 player in the league. We're seeing him play at a high level to prove he's a top 5 player in the league. But I expected AD to do things like that. I think what AD proved last night is that the ineptitude of Denver's defense down the stretch. Like, it was, Stephen A., I'm telling you, man, I'm watching this game last night. I'm watching Mason Plumlee come into the game, checked in on Anthony Davis, right? He's guarding him. He has to stay with him. He doesn't chase him around the screen. He goes into LeBron James, who's just standing there by himself, pointing to Jeremy Grant, get out there. Jokic is coming from the baseline. Jokic tries to get out there and contest. And even the play before that, if you grab the offensive rebound, we're talking about this series being 1-1. We're talking about being 1-1. And for Jamal Murray and Jokic continues to prove that he's one of the most dominant players we have in the league. That was their game that they lost last night. Now, I know AD made the shot, and they found ways to do it down the stretch, but if you're Denver, that was the worst second half I've seen LeBron James have this entire postseason. He was not himself. The play before that, he trips, he falls. Jokic has a way of controlling the game, whether he's scoring or passing. Jokic was doing damage, and you can't have a better matchup if you're the other team than AD plus Dwight plus JaVale. It doesn't matter. Jokic is a bad dude.
There's a couple of things I want to say here. First of all, Jokic had 30, and Jamal Murray had 25. Michael Porter had 15. I think that Mike Malone, who I am a fan of, I think he's done a tremendous job with the Denver Nuggets. I think he has to do a slightly better job of getting some others more consistently involved. And the reason why I say that is because the Lakers defense, when they amp it up, we know they can amp it up. And so when you have two guys that they know beyond a shadow of a doubt, that's where you're going. You're going to go to a two-man game. You're going to rely on those twos. It might have worked against the Clippers inexplicably with Kawhi, Paul George, and Patrick Beverley somehow, some way. It still worked. But against the Los Angeles Lakers, that is not going to fly. You need other guys to step up. And you have to allow them to do it because they want to do it. A Michael Porter, this brother wants to do it. You got to make sure you create those opportunities. Outside of that, I want to say this about LeBron James. He was my league MVP. I was one of the 16 who voted for him. Let me say this. LeBron James, if you're watching, if you're listening, because I know you are, here's the deal. You might not win finals MVP either. Now, you might not care. But the way Anthony Davis is balling, let me tell you something right now. It is entirely plausible that the Los Angeles Lakers march to the finals and win their championship, okay? And Anthony Davis is named, who some believe should have been at least been Defensive Player of the Year. Anthony Davis might end up winning finals MVP.
Stephen A., let me tell you, I think that's LeBron's plan. I think agree. LeBron's thinking, for us to win the title, I'm going to make that dude the MVP of the finals. Okay. By the way, bring it back. D-Wade kind of did the same thing with LeBron now, to a degree, right? D-Wade, LeBron, go get it. Go be great. And you're kind of seeing LeBron do the same thing with AD. I don't think that's a problem for LeBron James at all.
I will say this to you, and I don't think it is either. I'm just saying because of what he said about being pissed off that he lost the league MVP to Giannis, that he should have got that. That's the reason I bring that up. But the other thing that I want to say is this. You might talk about that, but here's the reality. We had to worry about the Clippers because of what we thought they were. You had to worry about Milwaukee because of what some people thought they were. When you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, you should beat Denver and you should beat Boston or Miami. So because that has changed, you never know what the thinking might be. You needed Anthony Davis when you were thinking about the Clippers in Milwaukee. If you're LeBron James, that might not necessarily be the case.
Yeah.
And you might be the one, you might want that. That's all I'm saying. You might want that.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.